Diddy has been dropped by every brand he ever worked with, and the FBI has seized his private jets and mansions as his income has suddenly dropped to zero. Diddy is panicking. His attorneys have just submitted their...
Now, Diddy's in a tricky situation.
Boy, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think it's over.
You think it's over?
I think it's over for him as like a figure in entertainment.
Right. But do you think it's over as him as far as like he gets a cell right next to R. Kelly?
I don't think so. I don't think he gets locked up.
I think he skates.
I think he skates. Or he goes to like Bali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a move, huh?
I want to declare right here over these digital airwaves of YouTube that the career of Sean P. Diddy Combs, as we know it, it's over. This is over. It's over in the worst possible way, one of the worst possible ways you can imagine.
Before this trial began, Diddy was the second richest person in hip-hop. He owned over a dozen brands, had a net worth of over $1 billion, and frequently met with fellow billionaires like Mark Cuban and Jay-Z. Just weeks before his legal troubles, Diddy was even given the key to the city by New York.
It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire.
He already has the keys to some pretty exclusive places, and now Sean Diddy Combs can add New York City to that list. It's Diddy Day in the city. Videos have been playing on the Jumbotron for TSX Broadway, and the crowd waited. Then around 11:30, the doors opened for the mayor and the artists.
The bad boy of entertainment is getting the key to the city from the bad boy of politics.
I want to thank y'all for this honor and just recognizing me being from New York, giving me the key to the city. Diddy finally has the key to the city.
Today's event coincides with the release of his new album, The Love Album, Off the Grid.
Diddy's business empire is collapsing. As brands distance themselves, all of his companies are now losing money.
New tonight, Sean Diddy Combs returned his honorary key to the city at the request of Mayor Eric Adams. The Harlem native was awarded the key last September, but returned it on June 10th.
All right, so let's get right into it. Check this out. This guy Diddy, when you look at his net worth, 2022, he's a billionaire. Oh, we hear it, we see it all over the place. Today, net worth roughly $300 million, $400 million. His net worth, if you look at it, was a lot of spirits. 70% was spirits, $700 million. 50 million was private investments. Then you see 75 million cash, 100 million real estate and collectibles, 75 million catalog and intellectual property. Go to it right now. Only $150 million is spirits. He lost $550 million there. Cash is lower and a bunch of other things are lower there. So what happened during that time when you think about it?
After his arrest, he was even forced to return the key to New York. The same people who once called Diddy their closest friend are now backing away to protect their own reputations. In truth, Diddy never had real friends. Nearly all of his relationships were based on business. Just weeks after Diddy's arrest, Mayor Eric Adams was indicted for corruption. And throughout the trial, Jay-Z remained silent about his so-called best friend.
How you get in that position and do all of this wild, it just leads me to believe you don't have no real friends around you. Well, because if you're worth $1 billion and you're the guy that has all of these different people employed, like literally you're the reason all of this stuff is happening. All of these people have jobs. You mean to tell me not one person says, bro, you got to stop around with all these drugs. Bro, you got to stop around with all this alcohol. Bruh, you need to stop around with all these girls. Bruh, stop it with the prostitutes. Why do you have guns in the house with the serial number scratched off? Like nobody, not one person comes around and says, what the f*** are you doing?
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News.
Diddy believed his day of reckoning would never come, that his powerful friends would protect him from the consequences of his actions. Back in 2007, Diddy partnered with liquor giant Diageo to promote Ciroc vodka. That deal earned him nearly $400 million and helped launch him into billionaire status. But when Diddy allegedly tried to cut ties with Diageo and take full control of Ciroc, the company suddenly went silent. Just months later, Diddy found himself facing lawsuits. Was that all just a coincidence?
It kind of fit my brand. My brand, I was known as the king of celebration, the king of parties, and I wanted something that was luxurious and aspirational. And I saw an opportunity in ultra premium sector of vodka. I was naturally a vodka drinker, and I knew about Ciroc, and I knew that it at the time it wasn't. People weren't really connecting with it, with the messaging. And so I proposed to Diageo. Maybe we enter a partnership. Let's see how it goes. I told them these, astronomical numbers that I felt I could hit. And,
you hit them.
I hit them. We take a lot of pride in the way that we have marketed and the success we've had, but we also take a lot of pride in the responsibility, awareness aspect that we brought to the industry.
When you compare him to some other people net worth-wise with Jay-Z, Dre, Diddy, and Kanye, this is what it looks like. Blue is Dre, orange is Jay-Z, green is Diddy, and purple is Kanye. Look what happened here. So Jay-Z keeps climbing. In 2011, he was roughly $450. Today he's $2.5 billion. Dre goes from where he was at $150 million at the time. He's worth roughly $980 million today. Diddy goes from $450, same place, to $1 billion down to $300 million. And then Kanye goes from wherever he was. You look at the report today, you'll either see $300 million or $2.77 billion, depending on who's doing the audits. Forbes says $300 million. Okay, so let's go look at the Ciroc deal, what happened. So Diddy in 2007 does the Ciroc deal, which is a partnership with Diageo to revive Ciroc vodka, taking a 50-50 profit-sharing role rather than the standard endorsement. As brand manager and CMO, he elevated the brand from 40,000 to over 2 million cases a year, making it a premium product. Now, keep in mind, if you don't know who Diageo is, Diageo owns everybody. Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Smirnoff, Kettle One, Don Julio, Casamigos, Captain Morgan, Bailey Irish Cream, Guinness. They own all these companies. So Ciroc, hey, this is big. We're bringing Diddy and he's going to take it from 40,000 to 2 million. Profitable. This is great. Let's make some money together. 2013, De Leon Tequila co-ownership. Diddy and Diageo jointly acquired De Leon Tequila, making it a deeper investment relationship. May of 2023, Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner.
One thing is certain. By the time they're done with Diddy, he won't have much left. Despite losing over $600 million, he still hasn't been sentenced. By the time he returns, if he ever does, everything will be gone. His celebrity friends? Gone. His business partners? Silent. No brand wants to be associated with him.
Is that good attorneys charge a lot per hour. We know that they have a big case ahead of them. They also have a lot of those civil trials. Touch anything with your name on it. You have to look at other tangible assets that you can see.
A Justice Department forfeiture action that could cost him his empire. An empire that prosecutors allege was built, at least in part, through a pattern of criminal activity, including alleged sex trafficking, drug distribution, and violence, all used to advance what they call a racketeering enterprise. In the unsealed indictment, prosecutors outline how his business and personal assets allegedly played a role in carrying out or concealing the crimes. This means any assets connected to the behavior, even indirectly, could be seized, including real estate, companies, vehicles, and aircrafts. Now, his $60 million private jet has reportedly already been sold. The Beverly Hills estate is currently on the market for $61 million. And while Combs still owns his $48 million Miami mansion, a judge denied his request to use it as collateral for bond.
An insider reveals that Diddy's legal bills are skyrocketing. Nima Romani, former federal prosecutor and founder of West Coast Trial Lawyers, said, quote, I anticipate Diddy spending 8 figures, over $10 million, on defense fees in the end. In complex federal cases, elite criminal defense attorneys typically demand retainers of at least $1 million. Diddy's case is being handled by a small army of lawyers. Considering that his life is on the line and his net worth is repeatedly claimed to be over $1 billion, it's no surprise.
Of Combs' assets are subject to forfeiture. Anything forfeited after a conviction could be used to support alleged victims. Sean Combs denies all allegations. And to help us break down what's at stake, I'm joined by Jim Trusty. He's the former chief of the Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. Jim, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure. Good to be here.
So, Jim, let's start with the forfeiture. This isn't just about prison time anymore. Prosecutors want his empire. From what you've seen in the filings, how aggressive is this?
Well, it looks to be very aggressive, and there's a couple of reasons I say that. The first is it's very broadly worded. What they're talking about is essentially any property, real or personal, that could constitute either facilitating property or instrumentalities, they call it, or proceeds. And so that's kind of the whole business empire of P. Diddy being at risk. And that's the second part, which is it's a RICO case, a criminal enterprise case, where they've defined the organization, the criminal enterprise, as not just Sean Combs, but as all these business interests that he has, including liquor labels, music labels, everything else you can think of. So they've set it up in a way where when they get to a forfeiture phase, if there's a conviction, the sky's the limit, and it looks like they're going to try to take a piece out of him everywhere he's.
Diddy knows what's coming. He might not know the exact length of his sentence yet, but he understands one thing. The longer he stays in prison, the more money he loses. In a last-ditch effort to salvage his image, Diddy recently checked himself into a treatment facility. According to his attorneys, Diddy's mental health issues were behind his disturbing behavior. But let's be honest, many people were harmed by Diddy, and blaming it all on mental health? That doesn't sit right with the public.
And here's what people don't realize. Diddy's not just burning money on defense. His income sources are collapsing one by one, if not already collapsed. Ciroc's parent company, Diageo, dropped him quietly. No fanfare, no public fight, just a quiet, chilling severance. Revolt TV is bleeding viewers and advertisers amid backlash over Diddy's involvement. Staff are quitting. Execs are jumping ship. He already sold his stake in it, but now that's died. Sean John is a ghost brand, barely sold in department stores, relying on licensing deals that are now being reevaluated. That $400 million fortune is shrinking fast, and Diddy knows.
No one's buying the PR stunt. The timing is too convenient. Diddy decides to get better immediately after his 5th bail request is denied? This isn't accountability, this is damage control. And let's face it, if Diddy can convince the judge that he's changed, he might get a lighter sentence. Maybe he won't go to jail at all.
Appease the judge so he can help either with the sentencing or the fact the judge may release him. Now, based on all that and the program and stuff like that, even if he does the program and stuff like that, the prosecution is still going to say, yo, listen to me. Okay, he did the program, he did that, but this is how much time and more time than somebody else who had the same kind of crime, this is how much time they did. Because if you notice, the judge asked the defense for a record or court cases of people getting time for this. So you know what the defense is going to do? They're going to come up the least amount of time that people got for this Mann Act charge. So now you got the prosecution. They're going to put in the most time that somebody got who did this thing, who did this crime. So now the judge going to look at the program and look at the pre-sentence report and decide what kind of time he's going to give them. But all that programming that he's doing, all criminals, anybody who go to jail, if it's for drug dealers, they go to jail. Some of them don't even use drugs, but they take a drug class, they take the drug courses so it can look good on their record when they go in front of the probation and they go back in front of the judge. If they did a domestic violence, they take the domestic violence course. They take the domestic violence course so that when they go back in the judge, he say, okay, they took a domestic violence course. And 9 times out of 10, any course that they take, they're going to refer them out for treatment once they get out of jail. So all those courses and all those cases and all those courses that he's taken is to get him out of jail and nothing more. I don't give a flying F about him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctors. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10, it usually helps.
For the 7th time, Diddy's lawyers are requesting bail, this time with a $50 million offer. They've submitted a bond package backed by his Miami mansion, his passport surrender, strict travel restrictions, home confinement under private security, and no access to phones or the internet. They're pulling out all the stops to keep him out of a prison cell.
Deal. Happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man. We're going to find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how do you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officer, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that. And they do this report that they submit to the judge. And submitting that report to the judge is going to have what they believe based on the guidelines of the prison system, the guidelines of the correctional sets up based on what the time he'll do based on the crime. Now, the crime, and let's get this straight, the crime that he committed is based on the Mann Act. And that ranged anywhere from probably 22 to 54 months. Probably 22 to 54 months. And they're not going to probably run that consecutive.
Cassie just received a chilling warning from Freddie P. Before it's too late, he's urging her to leave the country. According to Freddie, Diddy's associates are planning a counterattack, and Cassie is at the top of their list. He claims Diddy will go after her loved ones, family, friends, her entire inner circle if he can't reach her directly. Cassie's life is in serious danger. Diddy has a long history of using threats and money to silence people.
Now to the Sean Diddy Combs case. We may learn this week if he will be released on bond while he awaits sentencing. His lawyers filed a request asking the judge to release Combs on $50 million bond. Combs was convicted earlier this month on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, and he was acquitted of more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The government is expected to respond by this Thursday. Combs' sentencing is scheduled for October.
Said no. These are all the things you did even after you knew that we were going to be sitting right here together. You want to stay where you at until we figure out the sentencing.
All right. Well, that is the latest
when you ask what Diddy should do, if he comes home, he should do the work on himself. That's what he should be doing. He should be going to do some deep, intense therapy. He needs to find God. That's what he needs to be doing. He shouldn't be worried about no career. He shouldn't be worried about trying to get back professionally. He should be focusing on his personal life.
Some believe Diddy still might walk free. Let's not get it twisted. He may even try to rebrand his crimes. But Diddy a new name on trauma and call it personal growth. No PR team can erase what's already surfaced. And yet, some think there's more going on behind the scenes. According to Suge Knight, Diddy is an FBI informant. And if that's true, the feds won't be locking him up anytime soon. In fact, he might walk away with his jets, his houses, and his money intact. Because Diddy knows too much. The same man accused of abuse, trafficking, and decades of manipulation could walk away with the deal.
Go ahead, move out the country, baby. Pack little white guy up, get on out of here. We'll protect your family. Because if you think, Sean, and he done beat it, and you got 30 out of him, At the least, me personally, at the least, I would get your boyfriend beat up every time somebody see him. Like I wouldn't have to be there. So I'm telling you, if I would do that, I don't know, you know Sean better than me. Cassie.
So you believe that Diddy, he'll try to harm Cassie if he get out?
I think so. I'm not trying to, man, it's hard because I don't know what Sean's getting out. I don't know what Sean is getting out of prison. I don't know if Sean is reformed. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Sean gonna get out more arrogant now that you just beat the feds. You see his kids dancing around. They don't look grateful. They look like, yeah, we gonna keep winning. That's not the attitude I would be giving. When I beat my case, when I walked out on my case, I dropped to my fucking knees. I didn't want to be around nobody. I'm happy as I'm not celebrating blowing up in the law face because I know I was just fucking crying, begging God. Nobody was in there with me. I was begging him. So how I look like to get out here and act like some macho hero, like I wasn't just being a little bitch on my knees for my father to save me when nobody else would. So I don't know what fee Diddy getting out. But me, personally, you took $30 million from me, I would advise you to get it. I would get out and tell you.
Ventura's friend Deontay Nash has sent a letter to the judge requesting that he deny Diddy's bail. You know, Deontay Nash is one of Cassie's friends, and he was also her former stylist who testified against Diddy in his criminal trial. He testified about multiple instances of violence that he endured and that he also saw Cassie Ventura go through. Now he has just submitted a letter to the judge asking that he deny Diddy's bail until Diddy is sentenced on the 2 charges of prosta. Deontay Nash said, I am writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness that you have shown throughout this proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he possesses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time, this has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt that he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge
the luxurious lifestyle, the billion-dollar empire, the global influence. It's all gone. All that remains are broken lives, shattered trust, and unanswered questions. The $50 million bail offer, the sudden rehab stint, the endless legal maneuvers. It's all part of the same script. A desperate man trying to rewrite his story before the final chapter ends. Want deeper breakdowns like this one? Turn on alerts and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, do you think Diddy will get away with it? Or is this truly the end?